Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rep Sports. This is the post-match live. Delhi Capitals and KKR faced each other for the first time in this tournament in this season, and it was KKR who won. For consecutive wins for KKR, so that is a positive sign. But again, Delhi Capitals in the last 6 matches that they've played, including this one, I think they have only won one match, and that is very concerning. So, Shamik, I'm going to start with you first. What I wanted to ask you is that we have been talking a lot about Delhi Capitals and Akshar Patel as a captain. Today, it was not his day, playing 22 balls, scoring only 11 runs. Where do you think he's going wrong with the bat?
It is not only Akshay Patel, it is collective. It is a collective batting failure, Shorjan. At the post-match, at the pre-match show, I said that this was going to happen. This was always on the cards. I said this at the pre-match because Delhi Capitals batsmen, once KL Rahul was out, I mean they would be like fish out of water. Against I expected this Sunil Narine and Varun Chakravarti to run through their innings. Uh, um, I mean, they couldn't even face Anukul. Um, Anukul, I'm so sorry. Anukul
Anukul Roy,
Sharma, right?
Anukul Roy, Anukul Roy.
Anukul Roy, I'm so sorry. They just couldn't face Anukul Roy. So leave aside, and they were sort of clueless. And Sunil Narine was a tad unlucky not to get that Ashutosh's LBW. That that looked the plumbest LBW ever we ever had. But somehow the umpire thought that it would miss the stumps, and I don't know. Ball tracking showed it was umpire's call, but apparently it looked like the plumbest LBW decision we would have had, and that would have made uh, that would have increased Sunil Narine's wicket tally to do. But apart from taking the wickets, he took one wicket. But the way he teased the Delhi Capitals batsmen, he mesmerized them with the spin. That was always on the cards. Varun Chakravarti didn't get a wicket, but Anukul Roy and Kartik Tyagi also bowled well up front. But the fact of the matter is Akshar Patel. Now I am coming to Akshar Patel. The question you asked. Akshar Patel has been not contributing the bat. His average is 5. I don't think we ever had a captain except Shane Warne, who was a bowler, who was predominantly a bowler. I don't think except Shane Warne in the IPL, any captain had a average in the periphery of 5 or 5.5. So Akshar Patel is not scoring runs. Kuldeep Yadav is not taking wickets. He conceded 5 sixes, I think, in his 3 overs. And his economy rate in this tournament is north of 10. So Delhi Capitals, once again, this every year they start off well, they sizzle before they fizzle.
Snehashish, Shamik was talking about the batting unit right now, and I think there's this one batter that I always ask you about, and that is Pathum Nisanka from Delhi Capitals. Inconsistent, but today, half century coming in. How are you seeing this? Is this a positive sign for Delhi Capitals? Because if you look at their scorecard, I mean, Pathum Nisanka at the opening, he was the one who scored, and then apart from that, it was Ashutosh Sharma. I will definitely ask you about Ashutosh Sharma, but I want you to highlight on Pathum Nisanka's innings.
See, I think considering the all previous outings he had, compared to that, I think it was a good knock from him. Obviously, the stat will show that Pathum Nisanka scored a 50 against KKR. But the problem is that one set batter was needed at that time for DC. He didn't capitalize that. With all the international cricket experience, you expect this kind of your overseas batter, especially a opener, to continue that innings if you are getting that start, especially in this kind of a track. This was not an easy track, especially when they are batting against KKR spinners. So when he was scoring, he reached 50, if I'm not wrong, I think on 29 balls. So when he scored that 50 on 29 balls, it was expected that he would continue that and end up scoring 80, 90 maybe. That could have helped DC. But on the very next ball, he again tried for the similar kind of a shot against Anukul Roy and got stumped. So I think that was not a good gameplay or good game awareness, I will say, from someone like Pathum Nisanka. And the exact opposite thing, who did? I think Finn Allen for KKR. With all the experience he had, in this track, you generally expect a batter like Finn Allen might struggle because the ball is gripping, the pitch is kind of slowish. But he understood that and he took initial time. He tried to, get him settled. And after that, when he was set, he went for his shots and he ended up scoring a 47 ball 100. In this wicket, when a batter scoring 47 ball 100, I think it's like out of the world. So I think that is where I think Pathum Nishanka will be happy with the 50, but will be very much disappointed. I think the DC management will be very much disappointed. Despite scoring a 50 of 29 balls, he couldn't capitalize and couldn't continue for DC, and that I think changed the momentum of their whole innings.
I mean,
Snehashish, sorry to interrupt, Shorjani. Snehashish, the pitch factor is completely redundant as far as Delhi Capitals are concerned.
Oh yes,
On feather beds, on highways, even after scoring 260 plus, they couldn't
yes,
defend at Kotla,
yes,
right? And on a very good pitch, they got bundled out for 75.
yeah,
And when the pitch is a bit tricky, they are not. They are struggling. So the pitch factor is completely redundant. I don't know what is the problem, but the problem I think it's the lack of stability. It's the lack of
mm,
stability in this outfit that is the biggest problem, and it is not restricted to. To the players or what's been happening on the field. If you don't have stability at the top, and I'm talking about the ownership, then
yes,
it will have a trickle down effect to the players, to the dressing room, and on the field as well. Because in this setup,
mm,
you have an owner for 3 years, and then that owner is vacating the post,
yes,
and the new owner, and new owners are coming for the next 3 years. So there is no stability at the top. So after every 3 years, you have new team philosophy, you have new auction strategy, you have everything. You have some. You are starting afresh after every 3 years. So you cannot have stability that way, and that will
mm,
have a trickle down effect as far as their performances on the field is concerned.
Shamik, you
absolutely.
were talking about leadership and management, but which brings me to a very important question. Now, there are definitely a lot of positives for KKR today, and Finn Allen's a century, like Snehashish mentioned. I was going to ask you about that, but now what I want to ask you first is that we all saw that Varun Chakravarti was limping a little. So, do you think bringing him in the 18th over, if I'm not wrong, 18th or 17th over, I think I'm getting confused a little, but bringing him into bowl, into the action later during the overs, was it a was it a good call? Because we saw Varun Chakravarti get hit by Ashutosh Sharma all around the park in that over specifically. Because before that,
18th
he
of
was bowling. He
18th of
was he
April will
was
get hit. I don't know how serious if he had any injury at all, because there must have been a communication with his captain, and he has been brought on in consultation. It is not that he was not. His opinion was not taken before Ajinkya brought him on. So it was a mutual. It was a conversation. There must have been a conversation between the bowler and the captain, and I don't think it was something serious. As regards getting it, 18th over, any bowlers can get it. It's not. I don't think it is related to Varun Chakravarti limping or not.
definitely. Now, shifting to the positives, I think we've spoken a lot about the negatives. Again, when we close the show, we are going to shift back to the negatives. But I think now we should talk only about the positives. Snehashish, you mentioned about Finn Allen. You are a huge fan of the South African cricket team. Go ahead, describe that inning for us.
Yes, but sorry, Finn Allen is from New Zealand. Sure,
New
Jenny, it's
Zealand.
okay, it's fine.
Finn Allen is from New Zealand.
It's
My
fine, sure, Jenny,
apologies.
it
I'm getting
happens.
confused with Eastern stuffs. Yes, sorry. My
Yes,
bad.
yes. Yeah, but Finn Allen, I think excellent. I think the kind of knock that I witnessed in that semi-final, you were there also at Dayton Gardens. You also saw that. I think that 100 against South Africa, it was tremendous. But this was a very tricky pitch. Actually, I was thinking that he will score maybe 30, 40, and again, I think he will go it out. But the best thing that he did, I think, he understood that one set better is needed to complete this chase. Otherwise, if wickets continue to tumble, I think this chase would have been a bit more tricky for the upcoming batters. So he understood that, and he ensured that he will be there till the end, and he did the job for the team. So I think it was a fantastic knock from Finn Allen, and that is where again I would like to mention the experience. They're playing international cricket. You know what Pathum Nisanga couldn't do for DC, he did for KKR. He ensured that okay, I am set. I will be there till then. I will make sure that we are leaving Delhi with two important points. So I think he did the job excellent. Fast 50, that also now it's a fast 100 for him for him in IPL. And finally, the Finn Allen that we all know, I think he has arrived in IPL.
Yeah, but once again, I apologize for just shifting his country and calling him a cricketer from
No,
Yes,
South
it
no,
Africa.
happens.
no, no. It happens, Shaujani. Not a problem. But uh, if if I were allowed to speak in Bengali, I would have asked the KKR. I would have asked the KKR management, "भाई तुम्हारे ये खेला आगे कोথায় ছিল?" Because I think it's
It
all
was, there was,
because the thing is it's already too late. They have won four matches on the trot. Yes, fantastic. But I think they have already missed the bus. They have already missed the playoff bus because from here, even if they win all their remaining matches, lots of permutations and combinations, and
Mhm.
the other teams are ahead. So it is sort of improbable. So if only they could have, if they could have channeled this kind of form, at least a couple of games early. But now they are playing well. We have to give them credit because it has coincided with Varun Chakravarti returning to form because now the spinners are bowling in tandem. Spinners are bowling in tandem, and once again, see, for someone like Finn Allen, he is playing for a new franchise. It takes time to get into the groove in a new franchise. For Cameron Green, such a fantastic player, it takes time to get into the groove. You need to give him that bedding in period. So, but Shorjani, you spoke about positives. Lots and lots of positives for KKR.
definitely, definitely. I was about to ask Vaibhav about the positives. See, we are talking about Sunil Nareen, we are talking about Varun Chakravarti, but we also have to keep in mind there was someone like an Anukul Roy out there, left arm spinner. You already have someone like a Rachin Ravindra who can bat and who can bowl sitting in the dugout. So Anukul Roy going out there, bowling those important overs. Ground fielding was a little bad today, but I think he took an excellent catch as well. So Vaibhav, your assessment on Anukul Roy today?
See, I think Anukul Roy is, one player that KKR have backed and they retained him last year. He didn't get a lot of opportunities last year, but they backed him. And then what happened? He had a great Syed Mushtaq Ali trophy with Jharkhand. Jharkhand eventually won the trophy under Ishan Kishan, and he was brilliant. And last year, it was the evolution of Anukul Roy, the batter. He was always a good bowler. If you look at from his under 19 days from his teenage days, he was the best spinner of his time of his under 19 batch. Anukul Roy. So, as a bowler, it was never a doubt. As a fielder, he was always one of the better fielders in domestic cricket. What he has done better in the last 1 year is he has improved his hitting ability, like Mitchell Santner has done. So, I think Anugul Roy as an all-rounder has evolved, and today what we saw, he now is growing in confidence with every over that he's bowling. He is now growing in confidence that you can see. Pathum Nisanka set batter to deceive a set batter like Pathum Nisanka, who's a great player of spin. To do that, I think that tells you about the bowler. And then to even Tristan Stubbs plays spin really well. We last saw when South Africa toured India, he scored half centuries in that two-match test series as well. So Tristan Stubbs is also a very good player of spin, and to outfox him as well in 1 over, getting two important wickets, two of the most informed batters, Pathum Nisanga and Tristan Stubbs. I think that phase, that particular 8 ball phase where DC lost 3 wickets, Samir Rizvi, then Pathum Nisanga and Tristan Stubbs. I think that phase was the deciding phase for me in this game, because despite the best efforts of Ashutosh Sharma with the bat, it was not a defendable target at all. Yes, we can say that Mitchell Stark was pathetic with the new ball. He bowled a lot of freebies. Yes, Finn Allen played brilliantly, but you expect better from Mitchell Stark. And then Vipraj Nigam and Kuldeep Yadav were taken to cleaners. The only positive came out of for Delhi was Akshar Patel continuing his good run of form with the ball, but again with the bat, Akshar is lost somewhere. Akshar is not the same batter that we have seen him. So today it was a very scratchy innings. He was struggling for timing. He was struggling to even rotate the strike. I think, but that spell of Anukul Roy, I think that was a game changing spell. That particular phase where Sunil Naren, Cameron Green also getting, Nitish Rana's wicket, bouncing him out. I think those 4 wickets, that particular middle over phase changed the course of the game. It could have, if this could have been 170, 180, then this game would have been different. And Phil Annell, obviously he got a reprieve, but great innings. But I think it was not a defendable total. So that phase, which will not be talked about a lot because of the innings that Finn Allen played, but I think that was the game's deciding innings for me.
Snehashish, Vaibhav mentioned in his answer about Ashutosh Sharma. I think we were talking about him
Yeah.
in the pre-match show as well, and you were saying that he has not been impressive so far. I mean, he has been a little inconsistent. You were mentioning, but now that he has
Yeah.
scored today, I mean, definitely those 39 runs from those 28 balls, it was slow. I would not say the runs came comfortably. He was struggling a little. So, what would you say about him? And has your perception about him as a batter changed after today's innings?
No, I think first of all it was not an easy track to bat on. I think that is why maybe the strike rate that doesn't matter that much maybe, but it was good finish. I think he must be very confident after this knock that okay he managed to give a positive finish to the innings, because obviously as Vaibhav mentioned DC was clearly struggling, and they were struggling to score, to reach that mark, that at least that competitive mark, though it was below per score, but still I think if Ashutosh wouldn't have played that knock, I think this would have ended like 110 or 120. This could have been very easy chase then for KKR. So I think he must be confident from his side. But again, for DC, I think again the problem is in the middle order and the constant changes. Why you're not playing someone like David Miller, the experienced, the proven player, and you are not picking someone like David Miller? So again, it's the same type of question as we are talking in the pre-match also. They are still struggling to find out the best possible 11 for them according to the situation, according to the pitch, according to the opposition. They're constantly making those changes and they are paying for that. And now see, despite not being despite being winless in the first six game, now KKR ahead of DC, and despite playing one match less. So think about the form DC have managed to come despite that good start to the tournament. So I think that the way DC management are going with their decisions, it is not looking good. And if they continue in such a manner, this tournament might end up in a horror show for them.
Like Shamik, I wanted to ask you. Snehashish was mentioning about the decisions. We also know that you have someone like a Prithvi Shaw and Abhishek Porel sitting in the dugout. So David Miller, they have opted David Miller out of the team. But what are your thoughts on not including Abhishek Porel and Prithvi Shaw? Abhishek Porel still has gotten a chance this season, but Prithvi Shaw has not played so far. Your thoughts?
Short journey, it's been pretty battling. He was one of their better players, Abhishek Podal, last season. Prithvi Shaw, maybe some reasons, but Abhishek Podal, he was one of the better players for them last season, and it beggars belief that he hasn't got a game yet. I mean, in a full time capacity. But short journey, more than Prithvi Shaw or Abhishek Podal, we need to talk a bit about KL Rahul. The the big question uh, is it worth spending around 13 crore, 14 crore, or 15 crore for someone like KL Rahul in the IPL? Make no mistake, he will score a lorry load of runs every season. But how many of those runs come in a winning cause? How many of his innings have taken his side over the line? It is always more valuable to have a 7 ball 20 rather than in a winning cause than a 150 in a losing cause. So KL Rahul, I mean, he is a fantastic batsman in his own right. Absolutely brilliant batsman. He is easy on the eye. He is excellent. The touch, the technique, everything, and he plays conventional cricket, everything. And if you look at the hard numbers in the IPL, he will always score a lorry load of runs. But once again, I'm talking about impact. T20 cricket is about impact. What is KL Rahul's impact in this Delhi Capital side? I mean, how many times has he contributed to his team winning a match, winning a tight match or winning a match? How many times he has contributed to this? This is a question we need to ask.
Interesting point put forward by Shamik. Vaibhav, I was willing to ask you about the bowling lineup of Delhi Capitals. I think Mitchell Stark and Lungi Ngidi, they were the highlights of today's match. Although Mitchell Stark was expensive, but I think Lungi Ngidi has been the only bowler who has been constantly going out there and performing. But again, which brings me to another question: Kuldeep Yadav, does his form still concern you?
Interesting. I wrote a piece on him in the afternoon as well before the start of the game, and I highlighted the concern what exactly is going wrong with Kuldeep Yadav. I think it's more about him, not finding the ideal length to bowl. I think the assessment is going somewhere going wrong, and he's trying too many things. The problem with Kuldeep Yadav and Varun Chakravarti was what I have observed is if they are hit in their first 2 overs, then it is very difficult for them to come back and do well in their next spell. And what is going wrong with Kuldeep Yadav is either he's going too full or too short. And if he's being hit, if he's floating it up and if he's being hit, then he will bowl that quicker one which he bowled to Sanju Samson and as well, and then he just paddled it up 100 plus deliveries. See, for a finger spinner like Krunal Pandya, if you are bowling that with a good trajectory, it can still give you results. But for Kuldeep Yadav, especially playing at the stadium like Arun Jaitley, where the boundary dimensions are small, the margin of error becomes more or less. I think Kuldeep is clearly struggling with his length. A line is still fine, but I think the length is probably either too full or too short. Another thing is not using his angles really well, which he used to do. If you look at 1 or 2 seasons back, last season, first half, you look at last season's first half, Kuldeep was doing really well. 5 matches, 10 wickets. He was, making batters think by doing different things. Now what he is doing, he is sticking to the same thing, and he is doing a lot of speed variations, but that is not delivering the goods for him. So I think Kuldeep Yadav is a big concern. Hemang Badani after the last match, after the loss to CSK, he downplayed the concern. But Akshar Patel, he highlighted that even he was not asked about Kuldeep Yadav, but he said nonchalantly that I am missing my bowling partner. So he was not even asked about whether Kuldeep is a concern or not. He himself said that I am missing my bowling partner. And look at what happened today as well. The way KKR spinners bowled, it suggested that there was some assistance for the spinners on this wicket. But look at the way DC spinners bowled. DC had two of the finest spinners in India. DC have them, whether it's Akshar Patel or Kuldeep Yadav. But what Akshar Patel cannot, single-handedly cannot win you matches. Akshar Patel will always be that bowler who will keep it tight, and he will take 1 or 2 odd wickets. He's not a bowler who will pick 3 wickets, 2 wickets consistently. He will always be keeping tight from one end and taking 1 or 2 wickets in that process. But I think Kuldeep Yadav's wicketing ability during the middle overs has been a big miss. It was missed during the last season as well in the second half, where DC crumbled and couldn't qualify because of the loss of form of Kuldeep Yadav. And this year, that started early. That dip started early, and that is why DC found themselves in trouble, because Kuldeep Yadav, if he's not taking wickets in the middle overs, then it becomes a concern. Then what options you have? Lungi and Giddy is one, but you want to keep your overs for Lungi and Giddy in the death as well. So I think Kuldeep's concern remains, and now I don't know now how he will get out of this, and how means who will help him out, because things are looking bleak for him. We were talking about Varun Chakravarti, but now I think Kuldeep's form is a bigger concern now.
Definitely. And speaking about concerns, Tom here has a valid question. Snehashish, I would request you to answer this. He's saying, where will Manish be sent out to bat if, say, KKR are 3 wickets down in 11 overs, batting first? Will they send in Manish or Ovman or Rinku? Because Manish ideally cannot be a finisher.
Yes, I think I am having this question from the last game only. Whenever I saw that Manish Pandey in the playing 11, that where will you play Manish Pandey in this batting lineup? Because he cannot be a finisher for sure shot, and he can bat at number 3 or number 4. But you have to use someone like Cameron Green at that position. Rinku Singh is scoring while batting at number 4. So why will you try change that also while he's finally making a comeback and making scoring some runs? So it is very surprising to see, Manish Pandey playing 11, but it's okay. I think it's good for KKR that in this last 2 games, the way they batted, chased down targets, they didn't want someone like Manish Pandey in the mix, in the mix. But the question will definitely arise when they will need someone like Manish Pandey in the middle. If they are down, like, as the viewer mentioned, that 10 for 3 or maybe 20 for 3, I think in that case, I think they will send someone like Manish Pandey. You cannot. They will keep someone like Rinku and Robman Paul for the later stage of the innings. So whether Manish Pandey can settle the ship, and after that, both of them, both of them, Rinku or Robman can come and score those quick runs. But seriously speaking, for me personally, I don't found a perfect spot for Manish Pandey in this batting lineup. It is very problematic because Manish Pandey, especially at this stage of his career, he is not like the Manish Pandey that we know it's 5 years back or 6 years. That is not going to happen. So at this stage of his career, it is very baffling to see in this batting lineup to see Manish Pandey. But let's see if in future games, whenever he gets opportunity, what will be the thinking process of team management? That will be thing to watch out for.
Shamik, now that we are talking about Manish Pandey and we are pointing out the small concerns of KKR, Cameron Green. In the first few matches, he was not up to the mark. He did not score many runs. But now he has started scoring runs. He has started chipping in and contributing with the bat. But again, coming in and bowling those 1 or 2 overs, going for runs. So far, has Cameron Green's outing been a little disappointing to you?
Sorry. No, it's not. First of all, um, I'm a bit surprised that Sarka 2026 and we are still talking about Manish Pandey. We are still talking about Manish Pandey, players like Manish Pandey, Rahul Tripathi. My God. Anyway, as regards Cameron Green, I'm not disappointed because he came to a new franchise and carrying a heavy price tag. Whatever someone says that it is not weighing me down, it is not the truth. Back of your mind, it will always be there that they have forked out sort of 23 crore or 24 crore for me, and I have to live up to the expectations. Coming into that, and he was still nursing, and he was not still not 100% for the first few games. He was not allowed to bowl, stuff like that. That bedding in period became a little tricky. After that, he is contributing almost every game. If not at the back, today also with the ball, he made a breakthrough. So Cameron Green is a very fine cricketer. Cameron Green is not KKR's problem. KKR's problem is the players who are from yesterday. KKR's problem is not KKR. I mean, this is one of the reasons why very likely they, if they still qualify for the playoffs, they will have to pull off a mini miracle. But very unlikely they will qualify. And then during close season, they will have to think hard that we have players in our ranks who are cricketers of yesterday. And Manish Pandey, the guys like Manish Pandey, we have to move into a new direction. So once again, Cameron Green is certainly is not a problem for Kolkata Knight Riders.
Definitely. Vaibhav, what I wanted to ask you is that we know that Pathirana is already here, but he's not playing for Kolkata. And in the pre-match show also, I was joking about it that when CSK plays, people ask, will MSD play? And now when KKR plays, people ask, will Pathirana play? So the question is, you have someone like a Kartik Tyagi who is going out there taking crucial wickets, and today he was impressive. Vaibhav Arora is somewhat also, bowling, and he has been precise and accurate for KKR. So now that this bowling unit has already coordinated and has been set, do you see Pathirana coming in?
So now, where you will fit in up Matisha Patina, that's a question. Then you will have to, play around with your overseas combination. That is the only way around. I think overseas combination. If you look at Finn Allen, Cameron Green, Sunil Naran, I think or you cannot disturb this combination. In regards to the bowling attack, Vaibhav Arora was your best bowler last season. He's still, obviously he's leaking runs, but he's taking wickets as well. And Karthik Tyagi has been the best pacer for KKR this season. The way he has taken wickets, operating at a good pace, bowling the hard overs. Look at the way he bowled the last over, conceding only 3 runs. So I think Karthik Tyagi, and obviously getting the wicket of Ashutosh as well. So Karthik has been the most impressive bowler, and I was discussing this in the pre-season show while we were analyzing KKR squad about Karthik Tyagi, that this could be the season where I would like to see Karthik Tyagi getting 14 games, 13 games on a trot, and then see. And obviously, if he remains fit, then he should play. He should be playing the maximum games because he has the potential. It's just about him giving the teams trusting him and backing him. KKR have done that, and he's showing off really well. So now Where Mathisha Pathirana will come in obviously is a big question. You have paid a heavy price for that. Now, not many games left. How and see, it's not new to KKR. They had carried Kamlesh Nagarkoti, they carried Shivam Mavi when they were injured. They even carried somebody like Andhra Rasal. Andhra Rasal have said it many times that KKR, how KKR helped him recovering from his injuries and all. So KKR in the past has also have carried injury prone players. So I will not be surprised if they carry Matisha Pratirana from this season to another season. But very difficult for him to get an opportunity now and break into the playing 11.
Last question to Snehashish before we close the show. We all saw that Mukesh Kumar was in the playing 11 today. But my question is, why was he brought in so late? He only got to bowl 2 overs. I mean, again, do you think that captaincy is at question?
Yes, I think Akshay Patel batting captaincy is always in the headlines whenever DC plays right now. I think again, I think nothing is going right for Akshay Patel. I think the decisions making, the field placement and all everything. And if you see, in this wicket, I think this is a very basic template in modern T20s. That whenever you are not getting wickets in the middle overs by spinners, you bring back one of your top pacers that you just come out to bowl and 1 over and give me those wickets. But in this wicket, you have to keep faith on your spinners that keep continuing them and they will bring you wickets. But again, in this wicket also, he brought back someone like Mitchell Stark and see, Finn Allen took the advantage and hit him for a six. Because in this track, whenever pacer is going to ball, batters are always will be very much comfortable. Okay, we can use that pace and we can score runs easily, and they did that. So I think again a lot of questions over the usage of Mukesh Kumar also. Again, another day, another question for Akshay Patel, the captain. But nothing is going right. The combination, the decisions, and the batter. I think as a bowler, Akshay Patel looking a bit decent enough in the last few games. But the bowler, batter, oh my God! I think today 22 ball 11 runs. That was a clear no audition for BGT that I am getting ready for the upcoming BGT series. But it's very dangerous sign for Akshay Patel and DC going forward.
Sri Lanka
Interestingly,
series
last year,
before BGT they will go to Sri Lanka.
last year in the IPL, Akshay's strike rate was 157. I don't know what has been happening, but as far as captaincy is concerned, once again he is very dear. I respect him a lot as a cricketer. He's a fantastic cricketer, but maybe just maybe he is not a captaincy material.
Okay, one interesting comment before we close this show. Ironically, Vaibhav Taragi says, KKR, enough of your comeback. Please don't come above CSK. Now let us win this trophy this year. Vaibhav, you want to go and defend?
See, if you compare the squads, I think CSK still have a better squad in terms of the balance, all bases covered. Now looking like a team that can go on and at least go into the playoffs, if not all along and win the title. But obviously, on paper, I think CSK have struck the balance. But yes, KKR's resurgence. This reminds me of 2021 season when first half didn't go there. When then Owen Morgan, Brendan McCullum somehow got their combination right. Venkatesh Iyer was asked to open and he did wonders in that season. They went on to play the final. And I remember MS Dhoni saying that if one team deserved to win this season was KKR. It was KKR, although CSK won, but I clearly remember what MS said. So yeah, see, I think CSK will still outpip KKR in the points table, and they will go on. If not qualify, at least they will at least end the season in a better position than KKR is what all I can say.
On that note, we'll end today's post-match show. Thank you so much, Shamik, Snehashish, and Vaibhav for joining me. We'll be back tomorrow again for the pre-match and the post-match show. Till then, keep on following Rev Sports. Like, share, and subscribe.